Exactly, and for here's exactly what I told the football team. So I'm glad you asked about him. Is when we met, instead of there's a lot of great players, a lot of great plays that you could have talked about in that day, and we've mentioned a lot of those guys already. But what the names I brought up in our meeting to the team is how we played. I really felt we played with that unselfish grit that we kind of talked about as a team going into this whole thing, and that unselfishness was exemplified by Charles Brown, a starting receiver on Monday morning, and a DB Monday afternoon. Okay, so that was and never flinched, never balked at it. Said, I just want to play, put me where you need me, and went out that afternoon and put as much effort in being a defensive back in fundamentals as he did for the last 3 years at receiver. So he did that. The other one that showed up very unselfish was Javion Browning. Javion Browning's been sitting in the wings with David Johnson and Tyvis for years. I think he's in his third year here now. Might be in his redshirt juniors, maybe in his fourth. But he's been waiting his turn. He's had mop-up time and things like that and hit his yards. So he gets in the game. We got both Malloy and Tyvis down. He gets in the game in the third quarter, and he was the one that was making those jump cuts and making them miss and moving those chains because he made somebody miss. Javion Browning was ready in the third quarter when his number was called after sitting and waiting his turn for 3 years. So that's unselfish play, and that's just what you need to be a great football team. Is you need Javion Brownings and Charles Browns of the world to really show young players how you are good, and not just because you run fast, jump high. It's because you do the right things and you get the right mindset and knowing what your role is on a team. And that's why I brought those two guys up, because those two exemplified why we won that game and how we won it.
Charles, having that experience as a receiver, does that help in any way, to try and make that transition?
It actually did. It actually did. We said, we heard what he said, because he was a DB. We had him for 2 years at DB. And he still remembers some of the stuff that we did, so it was easy to train him real quick because he understood our terminologies and things. But Charles, I think, did help him be a receiver because he understands, breaks more. He understands what the receiver was trying to see and what the receiver was trying to get the defender to do to open up a route. And we did notice that right away, that he had that instinct about him that he didn't have the last time he played DB. So that was very helpful.
Does the kicking competition heat up a little bit this week in practice, or?